Hey, this is Brian from the Somerset, and you're watching Rock Forever magazine.
Hey guys, it's Tori from Rock Forever magazine, and I am here right now with Brian from the Somerset.
Hey,
how's it going today?
Doing all right, all right. Excited to be back at the land of Mickey Mouse, my favorite place.
I mean, speaking of Mickey Mouse, did you do any touristy things today? I mean, you are in downtown Disney right now, so.
I do have my Mickey Mouse phone case on for tonight.
You're in the spirit.
But we have a day off here on Saturday, and we're going to Disney World, so I'm kind of excited for that. So instead of just trying to like fit in something today, I'm just gonna get it all done on Saturday.
Oh, that's a smart way to do it. So hope you have a good time in Disney World. That's gonna be awesome.
It's very rare we get an entire day off here. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Now we're gonna start with some finish a sentence for you.
Okay.
Now your favorite YouTube video is. Do you guys watch a lot of YouTube on the road?
I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos, I guess, in comparison. But recently I saw this video of like a house cat. It was a house cat versus a printer, and it's this house cat climbs up an entire like file cabinet and like on a desk in someone's office very, very slowly. Kind of suspicious because the printer's like printing out printer paper really slowly.
Right.
And then you see it's like the cat versus the printer, and then you see the cat just pounce on the paper and then fall off the cabinet and then rip the paper and the printer down. It's really funny.
These cat videos are always good.
And I really hate cats, so I love it when the cat loses. Like, I really hate cats. I don't trust them.
I mean, at least their YouTube videos are really good.
Yeah, they're good.
That's for sure.
They're good for YouTube.
And now, you were the most starstruck when you met.
Oh, man. I don't know if I've ever thought about this question. Sure, I guess I've never really thought about getting starstruck.
I know you met the Backstreet Boys recently, which apparently was a very big deal for Jess.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was a really big deal for Jess. It was like watching a teenager. I mean, it's a big deal, but I'm still like, it's a very big deal. Like, I grew up on the Backstreet Boys, and like, I mean, I live in LA, and I feel like I accidentally see someone totally random every other day, but I'm pretty like, I guess, grounded to that stuff, and it just kind of, at the end of the day, I still just see everyone as a normal person. But when we were at iHeartRadio Festival a couple weeks ago, Kate Hudson was there because her husband's in Muse and they played, and she walked past me, and I was like, I think that was like a whole different degree. I don't think I'd ever really been like that close to someone. She's on like a different level than meeting someone from my favorite band or someone from a television show. I mean, that was a whole different thing. I don't think I had ever really seen that. I sat next to Ryan Gosling once, though, in a...
Do you know how many girls are swooning right now?
Yeah, I sat next to Ryan Gosling one time in a restaurant. That was pretty bizarre.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And now the best prank you ever witnessed was?
Best prank I ever witnessed. It probably was a prank that happened to me. Let me think.
You get pranked on a lot?
No, I'm trying to think. The last day of the Alternative Press tour in 2010, which was one of like our first major tours. We were the opening band, so we were kind of like the baby band. On the last day of the tour, everyone from the other bands, from Never Shot Never, Hey Monday, The Cab, broke into our van because we were still touring in a van at the time, and unhinged all the seats from the benches from our van, and came on stage during our set and just sat on our benches. And I was just like, I think those are ours. That was pretty funny. That was a pretty crafty little move.
That is amazing. And I totally remember that tour because you guys played here at the House of Blues.
Yeah,
that was, oh my gosh, that's a flashback.
3 years ago.
Yes. And now the most random song in your music library is...
I don't know where to begin on that one.
I'm
full of random. I mean, I don't have guilty pleasures. I feel very proud of everything I listen to, from Disney musicals, which I have, to ringtone rap music, to Katy Perry, to Miley Cyrus, to Bruce Springsteen. It's weird. I guess I don't really feel random about it because I guess I listen to a little bit of everything.
Do you think any of those, I mean, what I'm thinking are pretty random artists have influenced you in your music in any way? Especially Miley Cyrus, I'm thinking right now.
Pop music inspires me every single day. So, hey, I mean, Wrecking Ball is an unbelievable song. I'm a big fan of that song. So, I'm just a fan of pop music.
And last finish a sentence for you. Now, the first concert you ever went to was?
Bruce Springsteen. I was 2 years old.
No way. How was that? Do you remember it? Or?
I got photos of me running up and down the aisle with a silver plastic guitar, and I think I knew in that very moment probably what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I think it was pretty apparent early on to my parents that what I wanted to do.
I mean, that's a pretty legendary first concert.
I was 2 years old.
And now a good transition here. Speaking of legendary things, your album is out right now, and it's called Legendary. Ha ha ha. I'm trying to be quirky. I'm really not. But what did you guys do differently during the writing and recording process of this album to top your previous releases?
This is the most different, I guess, in comparison to the other two. We spent about 9 months making this album, whereas the first two we kind of went in the studio for 5 or 6 weeks with one producer and just banged out a record. With this one, we worked with lots of people. It didn't matter if every song was produced by someone else. We started this album by living in a house together, tried to write in the house, didn't really get anything done in the house, but I was more inspired than ever, and we spent 9 months making this record. We did 50 songs, and every song was was collaborative with someone else, and that was really cool to kind of just went from hip-hop producers to rock producers, and that was really exciting.
Yeah, so 9 months is a pretty long time. So did you go into writing this album with like a vision and then come out of it with a completely different idea?
We went into this album with literally no vision. We just knew we wanted to get off the road and maybe make an album very slowly. We moved into a house together thinking, oh, we'll start this album, all 5 of us as a band in a house, set up a studio in our living room, and it really just turned into this party house that we didn't really get that many songs done. Literally, in 2 months, there's only one song on the album that came out of that house, and that's the Legendary, the title track. But it was, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because without that song, we wouldn't have gotten to where this album got to. That song kind of inspired everything. I think that house taught us so much about each other and about us individually, and I know that house just saved my life metaphorically inside my head. That's what I was wanting to do as far as songwriting.
So how did the song point you in the right direction? What was the element of that song that inspired you so much?
We had probably been living in our house for like a week or so maybe, and we were going to throw a housewarming party. It was the first time we'd been off the road for an extended period of time in like 3 or 4 years. And everybody was inviting their friends over to have a housewarming party. We had an amazing swimming pool. Everyone was barbecuing and drinking and swimming out back by the pool. And I was in my bedroom by myself during this entire party, locked in my room watching How I Met Your Mother reruns. I had just gotten out of a relationship. It took me a lot longer than everyone else to kind of come back down to earth and like get adjusted to like domestic life. And I just wasn't having it, and I was just like, I don't know what kind of album I want to make. I don't know what kind of songs I want to write. I was in a total just writer's block state of mind, and then I kind of just had this weird thing happen in that moment where I realized I needed to stop watching television and actually try to do something, and I picked up my guitar, wrote the chorus of Legendary just on its own as a little bit of a joke, I guess, and showed it to John and Steven, who were kind of drunk swimming by the pool, and I don't think if they were in the state of mind they were in, they would have taken me seriously. And the next day, John and I wrote the entire song in like an hour, and then we demoed it, and I think that song kind of set the milestone.
Yeah, so I guess that's proof that everything happens for a reason.
Of course.
Yeah, you were locked in your room being antisocial, but it made a good song, so it worked out.
I'm a whole different person since that song was written. That song literally changed who I am entirely.
That's amazing. And you also worked with Dia Frampton on this album, and she's no stranger to the Somerset. She was on Love Like This as well.
Yeah, Dia's one of my close friends, close friend of the whole band. We've been friends with her for years. And the song Hard on the Floor was one of the first songs written for the album, like shortly after Legendary. But one of the last songs that actually was finished. It was the last song to actually be produced. We just had a rough demo version of it. And I'd always imagined it having a girl singer on it to do these kind of call and response vocals at the end of the song. Had a girl who was going to sing on it who fell through due to just timing, and in a panic with like about a day left before I had to finish it, I called Dia and sent her the song and asked her if she'd sing on it, and she was kind of scared to, reluctant to at first, and I don't know. And she came in and just destroyed it, and I loved it. I was so happy about how that came to life.
Destroyed it in a good way.
Yeah.
And you also have a song on the album called One Night. What's the story behind that song?
One Night is actually just a bonus track. That was actually the only other product, I guess, from the house. That was the first song, the first demo we had done. And we decided to use this bonus track just to kind of always remind us where that album had started from, if that makes sense. It was the very, very first one. We totally weren't into the song, I guess, for a little bit. The song kind of got shelved, and then right in the final hours of finishing the album, someone had played, Steven, who actually had produced the song, kind of brought it back to life, and we thought it'd be interesting to have, I guess, a bonus track just to remind us where that album started from.
Yeah, and you guys have such a wide audience. I mean, you guys could go play Warped Tour, and then you could go play the iHeartRadio Music Festival. I mean, it's crazy. So what do you do to balance your music to keep everybody happy like that?
I mean, we're just being us. We're not changing. Nothing about our show changes from either set. We play the same show every time. Mm-hmm. But I think that's cool. I think that's what we've always wanted to do as a band. And I wish that's what more bands would do. I think it's important for a band to have diversity and to be able to play some shows with to be able to play with everybody. I mean, we've done Warped Tour, we've done the UK with Sleeping with Sirens, we've played shows with Sheryl Crow and the Backstreet Boys, and we've played iHeartRadio Festival with Queen. And I think the band that can prove themselves in front of any demographic is the band that lasts.
Yeah. So do you have a scene of music, we'll say, that you prefer? Or are you just not going to be biased today?
As a fan?
Yeah.
Just a fan of good songs. A fan of songwriting. It doesn't matter if it's pop songs or hip-hop or anything. I don't really like bands that scream in my face a lot. That doesn't really make any... That does still...
Bring Me the Horizon for you.
After 10 years, it doesn't really make any sense to me, the screaming thing. Actually, Bring Me the Horizon's the one exception. That band is awesome.
Okay. You just redeemed yourself.
That band is awesome. But there's an actual sense of songwriting on the last Bring Me the Horizon album, and it sounds unbelievable. I think the song's got to be able to stand the test of time for me, and so it doesn't matter what genre.
Yeah, and you guys released a lyric video for Jukebox, which, I mean, that was such a unique lyric video because it wasn't just the words on the screen. You had a full production.
I hate the idea of just the lyric video, and then all of a sudden the lyric videos, even though I swore I was like, the lyric video will never become popular, now the lyric video is like the norm, and I was like, so now it's kind of expected for us to do lyric videos, and I was just very much not into the idea of just having a lyric video. I'm like, if we're going to do a lyric video, we're just going to make another music video with the lyrics. And we have one of our best friends who tours with us is a videographer. So we invited our friends to our manager's house in LA one night after a show, and we just hung out till 2 a.m, and Brave just filmed it.
That is so cool.
There was nothing forced in that. That was the easiest video.
Yeah, so what was your favorite moment from filming behind the scenes? Because, I mean, that really was a party.
Smashing a bunch of watermelon. That was funny. That was probably the best part.
How did that even happen? That
was the one part of the video that was planned. We knew we wanted to just Fruit Ninja and hit a bunch of watermelons.
Inspired by Fruit Ninja. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
The Somerset's very inspired by Fruit Ninja. We think Fruit Ninja's the best.
I'd agree with that.
I think we've been trying to somehow incorporate smashing fruit in a music video for a long time, and we actually pulled it off for this one accidentally.
Yeah, I am glad you made that happen.
Yeah, there were watermelons sitting around, and we asked if we could just smash them. So.
And you guys seem like a bit of a party band. I mean, I've seen some of your previous music videos with other party scenes, and now this lyric video. So do you guys just have a blast on the road, too? Is that how it is?
I'm definitely more tame on the road. I got to take care of this guy. But, we're very responsible. What are you talking about? We just like to have a good time in general. I think you can't take it too seriously because if it's not fun anymore, it's not worth doing. I still think of, even though it's become more of, I guess, a job now, 6 years into it, I still treat every single day like it's that first day I got in our van in 2008 and played for 12 people in Texas. So, that doesn't change, that kind of mentality. And
we were talking a little bit about the iHeartRadio Music Festival, but I mean, that was just that seemed like the most amazing experience.
Yeah. That was unbelievable. It's weird. Going into that, I had just no expectations, nothing. I just kind of separated myself from it, and then all of a sudden I walked on stage, and I'm like, okay, there's 15,000 people here. 2 of them are my parents, which is crazy. And I just kind of took it all in, and it was the coolest show. It was the coolest show ever.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
you guys are from Arizona, so it wasn't too far from home, was it?
I live in Los Angeles, so it's even closer to Vegas. Yeah. But no, not too far from home at all. We're very familiar with Las Vegas, a little too familiar.
And who was the coolest person you met that night? Because, I mean, the lineup was amazing.
We didn't get to actually meet a lot of people because everyone is doing so much press, and it's so scheduled to the minute, so it's basically just like everyone rotating very quickly. It's like everyone is separated. But I still remember there's this one moment in the press hallway during passing, where we were us and our team were kind of pushing us somewhere because we had to be somewhere, and then Keith Urban's team is coming the other direction with his entire entourage around him. And there was this weird moment where Keith Urban and I looked at each other, and he kind of gave a little head nod, and then all of a sudden I just like stuck my hand out just naturally, shook his hand, and we just kept walking, and we never said a word to each other. And
that is iconic.
And I never saw him again for the rest of the night. We just, all of us, Keith Urban and I shook hands and kept going.
Well, I mean, you'll never forget that moment now.
No words exchanged with my Keith Urban handshake.
And now you guys are on tour with 303 right now. Mm-hmm. What has been the craziest moment of the tour so far? Well,
we released this collaboration song at the beginning of the tour. That's everyone between Nat and Sean from 303 and Ricky from Wallpaper and myself, everyone does a lot of outside kind of writing and producing on their own. And we thought it'd be really exciting to do a tour song, everyone together. We even got Bernie from New Beat Fund on it. And we did this song basically over email, just sending recording files back and forth to each other. Sean and I got together one day for like 2 hours and wrote this chorus idea, and it's a song called Turn the Night On, and we play it every day on this tour during 303's encore. And it's wild. Almost everyone on the tour somehow ends up on stage, and it's like one of the coolest things I've done on stage in my entire life. So that every night is unbelievable. It's so cool that an entire tour lineup came together to do that song. I feel like more people should start doing that. Yeah, that's such a cool idea. Rappers do it, and I want to have that mentality. It's like that posse track kind of idea.
Start a rap side project.
Cooler, I would love to. What was even cooler was the fact that the whole song came together without almost anyone ever being in the same room.
Right. That's
technology awesome. Is pretty cool.
And what are your plans for right after this tour? What can we expect from the Somerset after this?
This tour ends and we go to New York and play the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving.
You say that so calmly, but that's a big deal.
That's a big deal, but I'm good at I'm pretending to say it calmly. We play the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving, and then we go to Australia, and then the year is over. And we've got some plans for next year. We're already pretty much almost, well, fingers crossed, by next week we'll probably know what we're doing from the beginning of next year until August of next year. And I can't talk about it yet because it's not set in stone, but it's going to be an exciting little time.
I feel like...
And hopefully after August we get to take a little time off and maybe make another album.
Would you consider doing Warped Tour 2014? Is that something maybe? You guys,
people don't usually do it 2 years in a row. That's almost never happened. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. We'll find out. And anybody who wants to follow you guys on Twitter and Facebook and find your music online, where can they go? Facebook.com/The Somerset, YouTube.com/The Somerset, Twitter.com/the_summer_set. Someone stole our name on Twitter and we can't get it back. And my Twitter is twitter.com/Brian Logandales. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. It has been great talking to you. Thank you. And everybody watching, make sure you check out the Somerset. If you haven't already, you could get their album Legendary on iTunes right now. And also subscribe to our channel for more interviews. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. Take care.